What is up, everybody? Logan here again with another video coming at you today. It's another sponsored video. We get to touch on a company that you guys can take a look at, and I'm really grateful for this opportunity as always. This is what allows me to create as much content for you guys as possible, are these sponsored opportunities. So I really appreciate it, from the companies to the viewers. So let's hop right into this one. So we're going to be talking about a SPAC today, or SPAC, some people call them. I call them SPACs. Special Purpose Acquisition Companies raised a record-breaking $88 billion in the first 3 months of 2021. Now, you guys have heard, right, of like Virgin Galactic, right? They raised a bunch of capital in February. So we're going to take a look at the company ANY. Ticker is ANY on the Nasdaq. So you can take a look at this stock on apps like Robinhood. So Minority Equality Opportunities Acquisition on Nasdaq is ANY. Could eye $700 billion potential with minority-owned firms. SPACs were some of the hottest plays in 2020, otherwise known as special purpose acquisition companies. SPACs raise money through public offerings, using the proceeds to merge or acquire a hot up-and-coming business. Now, before you write SPACs off as a passing fad, consider this. SPACs raised approximately $73 billion in 2020. Within the first 3 months of 2021, they shattered that number with $88 billion raised. According to the advisory firm ICR, as quoted by Kiplinger, SPAC IPO issuance broke all records in the first quarter of 2021, with 298 SPACs raising nearly $88 billion. The tally was more than double the 132 SPACs and $39 billion raised in the fourth quarter of 2020, and more than 248 SPAC IPOs that raised over $83 billion in all of 2020. They've also become wildly popular for one key reason. Many SPACs have also found eye-popping success by cashing in on some of the fastest-growing industries. For example, look at some of the following SPAC examples that saw explosive moves through cashing in on sectors like electric vehicles, autonomous vehicles, space travel, and innovative technology. You guys remember Churchill Capital? They ran from 10 to about 35 on news it would take Lucid Motors public, right? So that's one example. We talked about Churchill a lot way back in February. We played that stock. We could go on. You can see a SPAC's potential if they go into a red-hot multi-billion-dollar sector, but there's another potential $700 billion opening for the SPACs, the minority-owned business market. So if we look at the Minority Equality Opportunities Acquisition, for example, is approximately a $100 million SPAC is dedicated to the financial growth and sustainability of minority-owned and operated companies through strategic M&As. In addition, Minority Equality Opportunities Acquisition is looking for opportunities in MBE. MBE refers to enterprises that are 51% minority owned and operated by those belonging to an ethnic minority group. MBEs account for more than 50% of the 2 million businesses opening every year. They've also created approximately 4.7 million new jobs and produced nearly $700 billion in sales. At the same time, up to 58% say they are at risk or distress with lack of capital. That's where a SPAC like ANY may be of assistance. The growth potential could be tremendous. Just look at the growth of African American run companies, for instance, as of mid-2020. Worldwide Technology, which is a global IT company, has grown to approximately $12 billion in annual sales. ACT1 Group, Global Alliance Automotive, Thompson Hospitality. These are just a few examples, though. We could go on all day. But as you can see, minority-run companies are excelling and fast. Furthermore, according to the U.S. Census Bureau, the number of Hispanic-owned businesses has had a growth of about 3.0% from 2017. In 2018, Hispanic-owned businesses made up about 5.8% of all businesses, with an estimated $45 billion in annual receipts, approximately 3 million employees, and about $100 billion in annual payroll. There are an estimated 500,000 Asian-owned businesses, with about 24.5% in accommodation and food sector. Asian-owned businesses had the largest estimated receipts among minority groups. Blacks or African Americans owned approximately 124,000 businesses, with about 28.5% of these businesses in the healthcare and social assistance sector, the higher percentage of any minority group. There were an estimated 24,433 American Indian and Alaska Native business owners, with approximately $33 billion in receipts. ANY is run by highly experienced professionals in M&A, operations, and financial management, including President and CEO Sean Rochester, MBA. Mr. Rochester is a well-respected corporate development, M&A, and strategy executive. He was a former senior manager with IBM, Amphenol, and International Paper Company. He also holds degrees from the University of Chicago Booth School of Business and University of Rochester. To spot some of the most substantial opportunities, his team identifies MBE businesses with the most significant growth potential while maintaining MBE status. Then, once a deal is selected, the firm conducts through due diligence to evaluate each opportunity using a detailed process. Finally, at the acquisition stage, the team negotiates and secures agreement terms that will result in the best growth opportunities for its investors. So we're going to do a little bit of some charting now that we have Spear 3D pulled up, right? We're going to do a little bit of charting. We can look at the charts right now. So I have the 9 EMA right here. So we're going to be using the 9 to get a really good feel of the last 9 days of trading. Then we have the 50-day moving average, which is this line right here cutting through the graph. And then we also have our 200-day moving average right through here. And we're going to use this. So as you guys can see, it's under the 9 EMA as of now. The last time it was down in this range, it actually got picked up really, really well around 123. And then it decided to take off again in February. SPACs are really hot in February. I remember Space had a very similar pattern, right? And Space has recently rebounded, so we can take a look at them. But over the last few months, there's quite a bit of support down here at 125. So I'll keep this on my watch list. With a lot of the stocks that move like this, right, is you really have to pay attention to the technicals because the technicals are super important, right? They're not the biggest Fortune 500, they're a SPAC, right? So being a SPAC, they move uniquely. And I always find that following the technical charts is where you can see a lot of movement. It's like we got over here, right? We had the 200-day and we also had the 50-day cross back here in May of last year, and it rode this pretty well, right? And stocks always return back to their mean. So anytime that they run up to about $5 or anytime they run up to about $4.50, it's important not to get caught chasing them and always try to find the best possible entry down, in these support levels. Galactic, SPCE, we can do a little bit as well. Now they really took off. They jumped overnight from about $21 to $26. They also weren't looking too hot because they also were struggling with their 50-day and their 200-day crossing. Led to a lot of selling and they bounced back pretty quickly. So that's always good to see from Space and from any of these SPACs, right? If we look up here, back that same week that Any did very well, Space also did well. So that's one thing to take into consideration, that the SPACs like to move together. So that's going to be everything for me in this video. I hope I provided some value. This has been a sponsored video. I really appreciate this opportunity as always. Always do your own due diligence before investing, buying any stock, doing any sort of trading. That's going to be everything for me. I appreciate all the support as always. Make sure you guys leave a like, a comment below, and subscribe on this video. And we'll have more companies we're reviewing down the road. I appreciate the support as always, and I will see you guys in the next one.